So it takes this link and it uses this. All right, so where is my links? Yeah, you see it has a class of link. Okay, chalo. So once you see this, it has a class of link and we are taking all of them. So it selects all four of them and then it checks if the attribute of the link element. So it will look for the blogs element and then, so as for now we have our new blog element open up over here. Okay, well this is the about one. Okay, so this is the one that we are working with and new blog is the next one. Okay, chalo. So uh you see we have this about page, we have this page now. Even though this is coming from here only and it is embedded with the footer in our code, all right, so in my footer only you see I have this script tag over here. I don't want it to be refreshed every time, so let's just go ahead and what we'll do is for this guy dot link we will change the color to uh, white it is, let's say. Okay, I guess, yeah, E would be that. Nope. Okay, let's just say some other color like yellow for now, and not a hash yellow. We will just say yellow. Okay. So we have this. Once I query some other page, you see we lose that. We don't want that. We want this to be there, and this script should run every time the page is changed automatically instead of fetching this much of data. Now this results in a slower experience and you see there is a refresh of page. Even though you cannot see it like this, if there's some huge data that is coming in the forefront, the page will take time to load. Okay, now especially if you have a slow server. Okay, so this site, now you see how much time it is taking to load, and after even loading this, now if I go to some other page, I should hit one more enter. Yeah. So you see now this is not coming from the local host, so it is taking some time to change. Okay. Well, the thing is that it is refreshing every time. We don't want that to happen. So in React, what you do is you have your component. Okay. You have your other component as well. So what happened to paint? Yeah. Okay. And then you have your body. Okay. Now, usually your header does not change. It remains the same. The footer also remains the same. You don't need to request it again and again. Okay. The body, it changes. You don't need to do anything much in the header and the footer part. Okay. In the body part, you need to do something. You don't want to do this. So what we do is in React, we take an entire load of JavaScript. Okay. So uh, should I hit enter twice or thrice for this guy? Okay, so it will take a few minutes. Okay, sorry, not minutes. You see, cold start for servers are always slow. Okay, so till that loads, yeah, it is loading fast at this point. Okay, so you see, it just loads instantaneously everything. Okay, now if I go to user login, just look over here. In fact, let's just sit over here and go to our network tab. Okay, we will just go to food ninjas. You see this is not changing. If I am sitting over here and if I go to my inspect tab and inside the network, just make sure that your preserve log is unticked. You see over here also it is unticked. As soon as I come over here, it is requesting everything. If I go over here as well, it is requesting everything. But in here, if I go here, okay, it takes me over here, and then if I go to start now page, it has loaded my this page. Okay, and it is requesting stuff. But if I go to the home page again now, you see it just redirects the user. Okay, so it says 304 and it is not modified. I can do this as many times as I want. and it won't bother re-rendering the page. It will always redirect me. Okay, and this is happening because React, instead of fetching data from the server every time, what it does is, uh, let's just delete all of this. What it does is, this is your PC. Okay, React is in the center, and then you have this big of a server. Okay, so let's just name it server, uh, client, sorry, not server, React. Okay, we have our client, and with this we have our server. All right, now what React does is, it sits between these two, and it provides a virtual DOM. Okay, so it is now sitting in between of them. Whenever it sees that, okay, client is requesting a page, I have that page, it will send back the data immediately. If the client requests the page and then React says, all right, I need to update some data, take some data from the server, then only it will go to the server, take that data, and then send it back to the client. And if it sees that this page is loaded already, it won't go back to the client also. Fun fact, well, not a fun fact, I have done some optimizations over here. That is why it is requesting data from the network. Okay, so let's just refresh this part. All right, you see it is requesting so many things as for now. Okay, and if I click on no more, it did request some stuff over here. So this is some other CSS, and then this is just some JS. Okay, and you see right now it also fetched some data. If I go to home page, now it does not fetch any data, instead it just fetches one this. And if I go back to my book page, it does not fetch the vada pav and all that pages again. Okay, you see it has been fetched only once. Now in your default or normal React application, what happens is, all the data is not fetched one by one, bit by bit by pieces. Okay, I'm using something known as React lazy loading. It is a new feature and was introduced to React like 1 or 2 years ago, and it is still in development. Okay, so yeah, that is why we are getting so many network requests over here. Else there is no need for this guy to request pages every time. Okay, and it will just route you internally. All right, all the images and all are loaded prematurely only. Means whenever they are, even though they are not required, they will be loaded. And that is why React is known as single page app. It never refreshes your page, it is always dynamic, no matter what you do, wherever you go. Now you see, if you visit a page which has already been visited, it is not request. But if you now go to the login page, all right, sorry, this is the 404 page. Let's go to hiring here. Oh boy, I guess there is some problem with the same. Okay, so now it should have done this. All right, and if I go to a sign up, yeah, it again requests something. All right, so that's fine. That is how your React works. And well, what happens in here, we need to note that as well. Okay, so let's just remove all this stuff, delete it. Let's go back to our inside part of the React. Okay, so what it has is, it has some internal connections. Okay, so there is some pipes that take in data. Okay, then we have React. In React you have many things like hooks are there. Okay, so instead of drawing a hook, writing down hook now, I will just create a hook for you. Okay, hopefully that looks like a hook. And yeah, now that this is your hook over here, then you also have many things like routes. Okay, so what I will do is, I will create some roadways. All right, yeah, and then as per the user requirements, it is routed. All right, the most important thing apart from all this, now hooks are an important part, your route is also an important part. we have a virtual DOM. Okay, in here we have this DOM which is being worked with. Okay, so this is your root, and if you see for the page source, you should not see lot. Now this is just a service worker. Okay, we have our title, we have a no script tag. Okay, and then we have just this much, and everything is being rendered in here. We have a div with an ID of root. Okay, and everything in here is not actually real, it is fake. It is not generated by the very HTML. If you can see over here, it is being injected by JavaScript, and this is known as a virtual DOM. And our virtual DOM, it is a React DOM. Okay, so inside this DOM, whatever changes are there, they are made. So there is a hook, it wants to do some changes, it can be done immediately, because every time you go to fetch the other DOM, so the DOM we are looking at over here, you see every time we go over here, it takes a bit of time, because you have to leave JavaScript, come to the elements part of the HTML. Okay, and then you have to do some changes over here, and then go back over there. So that is like a two-way trip, and going front and back, it is like going somewhere far away. Instead, what if we have all the data at our hand, and we will just edit the data, which can be edited inside the front end by a cron worker or some other worker that does the job for you. Okay, well, that is one part. All right, and then apart from this, React also has so many things that work in the background for you to make your experience better. Okay, so like network data fetching, re-rendering of components, re-rendering the family tree, and then so many things that I cannot even name them myself at this very point right now. Okay, chalo. So I hope that you guys had understood something about React, like how it works, why, and the reason that we use it. Okay, yeah, there is one very major drawback of our this React app. You see, we have all this line wraps and all. Let's go to the sources. Okay, and then we have our so this is my ts file. It is okay, let's just pretty print it. Okay, chalo. So this is one part where Google likes to see your data. Okay, this is important. This is nothing, the data that comes from here, it is very important. This, even though is SEO friendly, but most of this you see over here. Oh, this most of the stuff that comes from here, this is just for Apple devices, when it is also an application. Okay, so if I try and go over here, apps, yeah, install this site as an application, it allows me to do so. You can go to the very website and install it in your mobile as well. Okay, so iPhones and Androids, they have their own requirements. Okay, and then this is for Twitter and Facebook. So whenever I share my card or my website, it knows that okay, this is the link that I should show, the type of link, it is a website, the name of the website, so the title is Food Ninjas. Okay, then the description and all, and we can even share the image. You see, whenever we send an image or website or the YouTube video, it goes with a thumbnail, especially inside WhatsApp and all. Okay, and then this is for your Twitter. All right, there is nothing much apart from this much only, not even this much, I guess. Yeah, this much only, I guess, is useful for the Google. Okay, this is what is required, but it is not present over here because it is inside a virtual DOM and it is over here. Well, Google does not consider this site to be found, and it won't ever look inside it. Okay, so that is a huge drawback to your SEO. Okay, so if I go ahead and look up for my website now, Food Ninjas, it won't be there. Even if I say foodninjas.herokuapp.com now, you see it has some other website. It says Heroku Ninja blog, it you won't be able to find my website anywhere over here. In fact, you see it comes from GitHub over here. If you can see, uh, now that I have put it on my portfolio, I have not updated it and all. So yeah, chalo. So that is how and why we should and we should not use React. Okay, let's close our this server and let's go back to the React. Okay, so we have our Git. Now this does a lot of stuff for you, like include your Git ignore and all. I'm not here to tell you guys about GitHub and all, and I really don't want to go in there how that guy functions and all. But it will be very helpful if you guys could learn about Git control version manager. Okay, and as for now, you see, since we used our this npx create react app, you see it does not have many much stuff over here for you guys to see. Instead, we have this react script start and then react scripts build. Okay, so let's just go ahead and run our first command. So I will say yarn start, you guys will be saying node start. Okay, yarn is faster, and if you want something faster than yarn, we have npm. Okay, pnpm. All right. Okay, so it says b3 react start is not found. Sorry, not node, you should be saying npm start. Okay, hello. So I won't be running it over here. I have a nice nvme and I can do it the faster way, say yarn start. All right, so yeah, it quickly loads up the server for me and you can see the default page that comes with React. Chalo, so it gives you this edit src app.js and all. Now this comes with your our React app, and we have our React scripts, and this is a very beginner friendly stuff. Okay, it is very powerful as well. Okay, you see any change that I make over here. Okay, so let's just change this to red, and as soon as I hit save now, you see it changed over here as well. Let's not burn our eyes with that color. Okay, anyway you make any change, it will say something for you. Okay, just save it and immediately the changes are shown up over here. Okay, chalo. So that is why people usually prefer this. And once you say eject, now this command removes the react scripts and uh, let's just say yarn eject. All right, and hit yes. Now it will do a lots of stuff for you. Okay, and you see we have so many things that were being done by react scripts for you. Your the entire dev dependency part has been bombarded with lots of dependencies and all. Okay, and hopefully now, yeah, you see we do get some warnings and all that stuff. Okay, and in here in your scripts part we have this. Okay, okay, so now you have this, you see it like modifies everything for you. Okay, now you have dependencies. I guess we will have dev dependencies as well. So the test environment, the test runner, everybody is set up for you over here. Okay, so this is all that you are this guy was doing for you. uh where are my dev dependencies? Okay, I don't, I guess it does not. Yeah, you see this just and all, these are some testers. Okay, now they are not supposed to be inside the dependencies part. You are supposed to manually you do that for you, like this post css, react refresh and all are also some parts where, well, react refresh is the exact thing that is immediately refreshing your code as soon as you are saving it. Okay, style loader and all, there are many things that are useful over here and then there are many things that are not useful. Okay, so what I will do is delete all this. You don't want to go over here as for now. Okay, I really hope that I have my git bash. Yeah, and cancel this. Nope. Close window. Yeah, we have our git bash. So instead of sorry, rm rf, well, I need to rmrf node modules. Okay, so this folder, it is very tedious to delete for your this VS Code and system by default, but git bash handles it like Linux file, and you see it does it quickly for you. Okay, rest of them I can just delete them at once. Okay, chalo, so let's just go ahead and say npx create react app and then full stop over here. You can do it in PowerShell as well, but with PowerShell I guess there are some Windows does not handle it properly. It will take time to delete. Okay, chalo. So we will have to wait again until this guy is done, and we won't be running our that. Okay, and if I refresh this, it should not work at this point. Okay, chalo. So yeah, it does not work for you. Mm, just wait a tad bit. It should be done anytime soon. Yeah, it is done. Chalo. So let's just delete bash and go ahead with our yarn start. Chalo. Fine. Now that our development server is up and running, I can keep these guys side by side. And yeah, I forgot to start my OPS as well. I don't think that I should be starting, but yeah, it is 5:45 already. But what we'll do is we will clean up our React app, okay, and we will also make it for us. As for now, you don't want all this, right? This test you don't want it, okay. The only thing that you require right now is just your index.js file. All right, so I will remove this. Okay, and instead of rendering out react, I will just say h1, and sorry for that, let's say h1. All right, I will say hello from react. Okay, and yeah, we don't even need this guy. We can remove this guy and let's save it. Okay, now you see it is being we are editing in index.js, so it is not always as soon as you start going deep in your logic now, it won't be able to render out for you. Okay, so small things it will do, but right now we made some big changes according to it. For us it was small change. Okay, but it is fine. Okay, chalo. So let's just delete rest of the stuff. We can delete this all, and we can also delete all of this guys. Okay, and yeah, now you see our web vitals was used for measuring performance, but that is why we have Datadog and Sentry. Okay, hello. So this is how your React application will look like. I will just go ahead and create an app.js file. Okay, and right now what we will do is we will say import React from React. All right, and then I will say um, const app. Okay, so every React component, okay, we will be talking about that later on, should have a capital letter at the beginning. Okay, there are other rules as well, like for the hooks, if you make a custom hook, we should have a use in front of it and like that stuff. Okay, so we'll say const app equals to for now it won't be taking in anything, and we will just say return. All right, and then we will say h1. Sometimes my emit doesn't work and I really hate that. Yeah, hello from React, and let's just export it. So we will say export defaults app. And yeah, we can you also don't even need to say this in the latest versions of React. And app should be here. Yeah, chalo. So it should still look the same, not much difference. But you see, as your application scales, you always want to keep a clean, nice, and tidy code for yourself. All right. Uh, how about styling stuff? Okay, you have to do that. Yeah, one more thing, you cannot keep anything outside of your src file. Now this is a restriction by your React scripts. Okay, if you make that custom element now, you can always go ahead and modify it and use stuff outside your src folder as well. Okay, so that will be it for the day. Just go ahead tomorrow, clean up your React app, create one, and start working with this app.js file. Try using JavaScript. There is something known as JSX. Okay, please look at that. And yeah, I will be seeing you guys day after tomorrow. And after that, we will be starting with actual work. And with that, you guys have to start working with React, and as well as side by side learning with me. And you guys will also be making an application of your own. So what I would like you guys to do is submit your ideas to me, and I will say okay if it is a good idea, if it will be a nice one for you to work with, and all that. The make sure that you guys don't copy each other's, like don't keep the same idea. All right, say somebody is making a library, somebody is making a